What's going on, everyone? Gilman with the Wellthy Stocks, back with our daily Apple update video, ticker symbol AAPL, where we take a look at how Apple stock traded today, key levels of support and resistance that we are looking at moving into the future. We'll take a look at some key kind of pieces of news that came out and what that means for Apple stock as well. So real quick, if you enjoy videos like this, don't forget to hit that like button down below, subscribe to my channel if you are new, and comment down below what your thoughts on Apple are, and I'd love to chat with you guys down there. Let me go ahead and hit record. We'll get right into the video. So as expected, we're down a little today, right? $1.76, which is about 1.32%. Not a surprise at all. I said this in the video yesterday. We've been pushing up for the entirety of the week last week. Matter of fact, we were expecting this on Friday, but when we got a green day on Friday, that only raised the probabilities that we were going to see a little bit of a pullback today. So let's take a look at what happened, but before we do that, let me kind of cover two quick things that I wanted to cover. The first one being that there are going to be two new Apple iPad Pro models despite the display shortage. So another article I was reading was, hey, Apple's going to release these iPads, but by the way, they might be very difficult to buy. So that's interesting, but we're gonna maybe see that as early as this month. Despite disruptions in the mini LED screen supply chain. So you guys know supply chains have been messed up recently, right? We're talking chip shortages, we're talking display shortages. So that's definitely gonna, kind of impact the business a little bit, could impact revenue a little bit as well, depending on how that goes. But here we see that Apple is still going to kind of release those iPads, but we might see a little bit of kind of a delay in people, being able to buy them. So it's going to feature the new M1 chip, which is great because as they're kind of, making these newer iPads, newer Macs, by putting their own M1 chip, it's more powerful and it gives them, greater vertical integration. More so with Macs, right? For iPads, they've generally always kind of used their own chips, but kind of for, compatibility purposes and everything that they could do with the OS, I think it's definitely stronger there. So quickly wanted to cover that. They're still going to release the iPad Pro as soon as this month. The other news is that they're actually working on some new features on the Apple TV with built-in camera and built-in speakers. So they're working on that, built-in camera, built-in speakers. The current Apple TV was released in 2016, as this article talks about. It's been long overdue for an update because it's competing with things like Amazon, Google, and Roku. Roku, if you guys have followed that stock, my goodness, it's really taken off during the pandemic, right? So, the fact that Apple is doing something about kind of a sector that has a lot of potential, right? And really making sure that their product can really compete with, some of these other competitors is absolutely great to see. So this built-in camera would enable services like FaceTime calls, which is already available on Macs, iPhones, iPads. And so now you can kind of just do it through your TV screen as well. So it's absolutely great to see. This article talks about it a little bit more. There's more articles about it as well. But the key thing here is they're kind of reviving that aspect of things, of kind of their home entertainment. And I think at a great time because, Roku has really done well. If we take a look at, kind of their stock over the past kind of year, what we'll see is, take a look at that, right? It went from being kind of a $100 stock in mid-2020 to now being, more than 3-4x what it used to be. So that's great to see. The NASDAQ was down slightly on the day, 0.36%. The Dow Jones was also slightly down, pretty flat though, but also kind of slightly down after making a all-time high on Friday. We're down about 0.09%. And then the S&P actually went from red to green towards the end of the day with this late push. So we ended the day slightly green, but also pretty flat. So Indices took a little break, which was actually honestly great to see because they'd been S&P had been going up for I don't know how many days now. Let's scroll in and kind of see. I think it was like 7 or 8 days of straight green. Yeah, take a look at that, right? That's a pretty crazy run here in the past kind of week and a half. So the fact that we took a little bit of a breather is actually good news, and I kind of wanted that to happen. Now let's talk about Apple stock specifically, and we'll see how it traded. So, right out the gate, it was looking kind of weak. We were breaking above this 132.52 level, and when we opened, we broke below it, tried to come right back above it, and then went right back down to our 131.45 level. Bounced, couldn't really hold VWAP, so pushed below, and then you can see it trying to break back into this 131.45. Couldn't do it. 130.63 was the low. pushed up, couldn't quite break this high that we had set, right, on our way to this 132.52 level. So here, got rejected by the same level. And then we bounced at our level and then pushed down, and now we are hitting up against these levels. One thing you'll see, we had a red day, but our levels are holding up really, really nicely. We got a bounce there, we got some rejection there, we got a bounce there, we got a bounce there, we got rejection there, right? So if you have these levels on your chart, they can be super, super helpful in helping you make decisions if you're doing short-term swing trades or day trades. So just kind of something to keep in mind. Now let's talk about the daily chart, and we'll see what we see. So we were drawing this bull pennant, and honestly, and when we started drawing this bull pennant, I said, I don't know if this is gonna work, but if you take a look at, kind of the follow through, it did break out, right? We did get that, went from having a pretty darn low RSI to the RSI approaching overbought levels, which is exactly what I was talking about yesterday. We're getting pretty darn overbought, so expect a little bit of a pullback, and we sure enough got that pullback today. So, totally normal. Profit taking is healthy for any stock, for the overall stock market. For us to go up, right, we have to take little breathers, kind of recharge, and go back up. So now let's talk about key levels of support, key levels of resistance, and we'll see what we have coming up in the near future. So the first level let's talk about resistance first, right? That we were hitting up against is this mid 131s, right? 131.45. That's the level that we kind of broke below, came above, and then at the end couldn't break above. So that's the first level that we have to break above, right? And then we got the 132.52, then we got 133.45. We got pretty close to the 133.45 on Friday. Didn't quite break it though. And then after 133.45, right, we've got the 136.05. So three really close levels: 131.45, 132.52, 133.45, and then 136.05, excuse me. That 136 is a level that we have not hit since, let's see, going back here, in early February. So it'd be nice to kind of hit those levels again. But we'll see kind of how this week goes. On the downside, we've got this $130.24 and then the 128 right below that. One thing that I was kind of hoping to see today was a test of this $130 level, right? Our level is at 130.24, but really 130, because I really wanted to see how it held up. Because it didn't do that, I personally think that it would not surprise me if we see a little bit more of kind of a little bit of a profit-taking pullback type scenario where we test the 130 level. I'm not saying we break below it. I'm not saying that, it's going to keep going down, but I'm just in the back of my mind, that's kind of the level that I think we need to test and see how it holds up. Maybe it holds up, maybe it doesn't. But I would think, again, doesn't have to happen. I would think though that we test that 130 level and hold that, hopefully, so we could start to push right back up. Besides that 130 level, again, 128.54, pretty darn close to our AEMA in the 128.20s, and then we got more support down here, 126s. So I think maybe we have a little bit more of a pullback potential still before we start to go up. Again, a test of that 130 would not surprise me. That being said, though, it all depends on, how the market's doing. Even though we had kind of a flat day, right, S&P had a really nice late push to end the day, so that was great to see. And then, even Apple, right, did not necessarily just tank all day. It had a little bit of life. Ended the day below VWAP, which wasn't nice, but still pushed up, which was great to see. I continue to hold my Apple shares, always bullish. Got that one covered call for $128 expiring this Friday that I'll probably be looking to roll, because I don't know if Apple will get below 128 this week. So keep rolling, keep collecting those premiums. And then I got that one call going out to June that I'm now probably 10-12% down on. So holding on that. I've been holding it for a while, but continuing to hold it as Apple hopefully starts its climb back up. So that's all I had for you guys today. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to drop a like, subscribe to my channel, comment down below what your thoughts on Apple are, and I'd love to chat with you guys down there. Let's remember to be a bit better every single day, and until next time.